Boom. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Center of Unity. We're glad you're here with us this morning. If it's your first time, we just want to say welcome. Welcome. We're just thrilled that you're here with us. If you're joining us online on YouTube or Facebook, we want to say welcome to you as well. We're celebrating this morning with you in your chair right now. If you'd put a comment in there and let us know that you're with us this morning, that would be fantastic. Man, the weather has turned out great this week. It's like spring and summer is all here together. It's just been a fabulous week, and things are happening in the sanctuary. I think Linda will let us know what's going on, but things are definitely happening. So this next song that we're about to do, it's actually from Job. It comes out of Job, but it talks about praising God in the good times and in the bad times. When things go great for us or when things don't go so great for us, no matter our circumstances. See, praise tunes our minds and hearts and spirits to the awareness of the presence of God. We'll say that again. Praise tunes your mind and your spirit to the awareness of the presence of God. See, God is not somewhere off in a cloud. He's here. He's with me. He's in me. He's in you. He's all around us. Praise draws us back to the reality that there's no separation between you and God. Praise doesn't change God. Praise changes us. See? All right, let's try this song, Bob. Y'all can sing this with me. Blessed be your name in the land that is plentiful, where the streams of abundance flow. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name when I'm found in the desert place, though I walk through the wilderness. Blessed be your name. Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn back to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be your name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name.
Blessed be your name when the sun's shining down on me, when the world's all as it should be. Blessed be your name. Blessed be your name on the road marked with suffering, through the vain and the offering. Blessed be your name.
Every blessing you pour out, I'll turn out to praise. When the darkness closes in, Lord, still I will say, blessed be your name of the Lord. Blessed be your name.
Blessed be your name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. You give and take away. You give and take away. My heart will choose to say, Lord, blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name.
That'll get the energy moving. Good morning, everybody. Glad you're here with us today. Good morning to those who are watching us via the live stream. I see a bunch of people around there with us. Janetta and Julie and Peggy and Sharon and Haley. I don't know if she's tuning in from Mexico. Last I knew, that's where she was. But that's the beauty of live streaming. You can be anywhere throughout this big old world and still be able to connect with us. So we're glad that you're here with us today. Glad that we've got all this energy going on in this room, and glad that we are inching closer and closer, moment by moment, to having this room simply be a place of gathering and eating and celebrating with one another as we move back into our bigger space. We're going to, yes, that is worth. We're working on it. And we're going to work on it together today because, you know, we've been going through this series about how we use these steps to navigate any challenge. And Spirit just gave me this brilliant idea. Well, hello, as I was frustrated one day, you're doing these steps. Why are we not doing them collectively together to bring about the miracle that Easter Sunday, we are going to be in that space and it's going to work perfectly. That's the big thing. I just don't want to be in that space. I want it to work perfectly. So we are moving along and we are grateful each step of the way. We are giving thanks in advance this morning, as Jeff and I were giving thanks in advance for a number of things this morning. And we are just knowing it's going to unfold and we are going to be able to celebrate our own sanctuary resurrection and our own deepening awareness of how we can walk through this life, whatever the challenges are, and come out to a place that is good, that brings joy, and that brings great love and healing to the world. So join with me as we take a moment, as we pause and bring our attention inward so that we can truly be focused on our heart and the spirit that lives within our heart. And we do truly, collectively, join hearts and minds to hold that sacred space of love and peace. It is truly the universal need and desire of every heart in this world. And we see and we affirm and we call forth that great spirit, that great creator of all things into this midst and add our energy to it to bring about love and peace. Certainly into our own lives, into the lives of our community and this country. And most importantly now, we collectively gather and send our love and peace to those who are being affected by war in this moment. It may seem small and insignificant, and yet we know the power of our thoughts, our feelings, and our words to manifest the world that we desire. And we truly thank this beloved Creator in advance for the ways in which it's unfolding and for the perfect and miraculous ways to move through each and every challenge. For this and for all that is good, we say thank you. Thank you, God. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. All right. Our unity principle for today is number 2 out of 5, and that states that divinity is in all humankind. Divinity is in all humankind. Jesus was not the exception, rather the example. And our core value for today is prosperous, which states this church receives and accepts abundance in all forms, including friendship, financial good, and prosperity. There's material prosperity and there's spiritual prosperity. In one version, the possession of things constitutes prosperity. In the other version, it's based on the inexhaustible supply of spirit that is available to all of us in the form of divine support. We're not alone. We got this. And the reason why we got this is because there's a universal loving force that knows us and is rooting for us. Spirit in our lives often manifests as prosperity in all forms, and that's why prosperity is one of the core values in unity, and that's why we seek to demonstrate it in all areas of our devotion. So, the daily word for today, April 3rd, 2022, can y'all believe it's already here? It's the subject is inner peace. I think peace, I feel peace, I am peace. Peace lives in my heart. At the place within me where all appearances of separation dissolve, I feel only peace, only God, only oneness. This peace is always mine, part of my divine inheritance. I carry it with me through every experience in every moment of the day. Nothing can destroy or even disturb my peace when I invite the divine presence, the Christ of my being, to be my constant guide. A passing through of or a passing thought of fear, worry, or anger is a reminder to breathe, to release negative energy, and to embrace peace. I feel renewed when I meditate, and I enjoy a walk in a peaceful garden or take a moment to appreciate natural beauty wherever I find it. My indwelling peace manifests all around me as beauty, harmony, and bliss. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Psalm 29:11.
Technology, I'll tell you what. Sometimes it's a really beautiful thing, and sometimes it can just throw you way off. But good try, Laura. Well, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, we've been going through this series called The Lazarus Blueprint, based on the book by Richard and Mary Alice Jaffola, who are well known Unity ministers. And they noticed as they were studying the story of Lazarus that there was some specific steps that Jesus took in order to demonstrate what even today would seem like an absolute miracle. And they distilled them into steps that each of us could take in order to overcome any challenge that we might be facing. Perhaps we don't have quite the consciousness to be able to raise people from the dead at this point, but we certainly have challenges in which we have all the resources that we need if we'll hone them to be able to move through whatever happens to show up in our lives. And as I mentioned, right now, we've been in the midst of a challenge. It seems like it's been forever, even though it's maybe been almost 6 months, but that we've been trying to get our sanctuary back to a place where we can use it and have it as part of our Sunday morning experience and beyond. One day last week, I was feeling really frustrated. We had seen little progress since they got the trusses up. Um, we had not heard from our contractor in a couple of days, despite Mary's back there nodding. Yes, she's with me in this journey, despite repeated reach outs to him of where are we, what's happening. And I was driving to work that Wednesday morning, and divine spirit, I'm calling because it certainly wasn't those thoughts that I always generate myself, said, you know what? You're in the midst of this challenge. You're walking through this same process that why not collectively harness our energy and all be focused on these steps to bring our sanctuary to the place we needed to be Easter Sunday morning. And I decided not only for us as a community, but our contractor needed to be in on the secret and on the steps. And so I showed up and I wrote him an email and I outlined the steps. I said, and I want you to walk through us. He's a man of faith, and we've had many discussions. So I said, here we go, and here's the steps. And, you know, some of them we're kind of moving through or are a little bit past, but I'm going to invite you to hear this, bring it into your heart, and join us as we continue to focus on these places that we need to get to and things that we need to embrace and release in order to get us there. So I explained to him the first step was to turn away from the problem, so that when we're feeling that energy of frustration, of anger, of worry, of fear, that we focus on what we need to in order to take the next step. And then when there's nothing else we can do, we let it go. And we keep focus on what it is that we want, rather than just sort of swimming in and stewing in whatever the current step frustration there might be. It's a tough one, and yet it's something that I know I've had to remind myself sometimes daily to practice in order to be able to have the space available for divine ideas to show up and for the right and perfect resources as they appear for us to be aware of them. And the second step that we explored several weeks ago was to remove the stone. When Lazarus got to that place, or when Jesus got to the place where Lazarus had been entombed for 4 days, he said, take away the stone. And they were all objecting, like, no, I don't think you want to do that. And yet he was very insistent that that had to be the next step. And for us, the stones are whatever might be blocking our own belief and faith that this can happen. Whether it's, oh, but the supply chain, and oh, but there's a shortage in workers. And, you know, there's all sorts of things that we can put our faith and belief into. And in order for us to be able to get to the end point of this, we have to let go of all that. We live in a miraculous universe. We can manifest whatever it is that we need to get this done. And I'm telling this to the contractor specifically. You know, when we focus on this, it's amazing how many things will begin to come together. The third step that we have to embody is great expectations, a deep belief, a deep faith. It kind of goes along with removing the stone, figuring out what's not in alignment with that, and then really getting focused on believing without any hesitancy that we're going to meet our target date. And I'm asking him, join with us. We're going to have absolute certainty that we're going to meet our target date with everything working perfectly, both for those who are with us in the sanctuary and for those who are joining us via the live stream. The fourth step that we looked at last week was upfront thanks, is the way that they titled it. I often call it proactive gratitude. It's giving thanks in advance before it's ever happened. And if you look at Jesus, when he did all of the works that he did, he always said thanks in advance. And he says, I don't say it for me. I already know this. I say it for the others. And as a demonstration of how we are to be in gratitude. It's not just about gratitude when something good has already happened and we give thanks for that. That's sort of naturally ingrained in a natural response. This is about having that energy of gratitude, that feeling of gratitude, even before we can see the results, because we have that deep faith that the results are going to happen. And then today, the fifth step is entitled A Strong Command. A laser focused statement that is stated with complete confidence. Jesus demonstrated when he said, Lazarus, come forth. Our command that I'm going to ask you to join me in affirming often and with great enthusiasm, get it done. That's my command. That's my strong command. And that's what I remind Jeff. Just, I don't care what the, get it done. There is a mighty gathering of resources. I'm telling him this week that there are going to be people working everywhere. And we did experience it some over the past several days that things have really started to move. The HVAC's in, the electrical were working here. I believe that the city has passed us in the first state of inspection, so now we're ready to move all hands on deck, and that it gives us plenty of time to tweak, because we know any new systems that, or even if it's the old, going in a new is going to take a little time to fine tune it. Looking at the statement that Jesus made can give us more insight to this strong command step. In the Bible, we're told that he cried out in a loud voice. So this wasn't, get it done, or please get it done even. It wasn't meek or unsure. It wasn't hesitant or said as a question. Have you ever done that? And you almost make it sound like a request rather than a command. He mobilizes the full power of his voice. Every atom of his body was in alignment with this statement, Lazarus, come out, without an ounce of doubt that Lazarus was indeed going to get up and walk out of that cave. So let's do this together. Let's get it started. Put that slide up, Nick, because we're all going to say this together. It's pretty simple, so you should be able to remember it, but just in case, here's what we're going to affirm together about our sanctuary. Get it done. Woohoo! I'm seeing that reverberating all the way back into that space, that every worker that comes in here is going to have that vibe of, I got to get this done. So when we're calling forth a new vision, a new way of life, a healing, whatever that challenge is in our own life, we have to be willing to infuse our words with as much power and heartfelt emotion as we possibly can. Sometimes we have to fake it a little bit. We have to, you almost have to think of something else that you can feel that sense of power and empowerment, and then use it to make this statement. Because, we're human. We have those moments. Sometimes it feels a little bit like a roller coaster. We are strong in our faith, and then something happens, and it's like, and then we have to energize ourselves again. When we do, as if we're creating a laser energy rather than allowing our light and our power to be diffused and go in all different directions. Kind of like this slide here. You got that slide, Nick, of the diffused light? Yeah, so you can see it may light up the space, but it's broad and it's scattered. And sometimes that's a great light that we want to have in our own lives. We want to be illuminated to see a bigger picture. And sometimes when we're working on a specific challenge, we want that light to be laser focused. Because a laser light is powerful enough to burn a hole through steel. It's the same light, but it is just focused in such a way that it has the power to actually make changes to things. And yet, as powerful as this same laser light can also do the delicate work of eye surgery. It can be as intense or as just focused, but gently doing its work, depending on how we fine tune it. The power of our words, when they're infused with this kind of focused energy, has the ability to make big changes. And I'll tell you, it can make both positive and negative changes. Sometimes we can be that laser focused in wanting to have something, but it's not necessarily something that is powerful and uplifting for all. We can be honed in on, I want this person to pay, and we have that same intensity of laser focus, and we can bring that about too. So we also have to be conscious about what we're creating in the process. It can soothe a frightened child, and it can send somebody into fight or flight in a heartbeat. The words that we use not only have the power to change out there, but they reflect our own consciousness. They reflect our own thinking. Because if we're not conscious of what we're speaking, we will speak whatever is subconsciously ruling the mind and the heart. So we have to train our minds to be focused. Sometimes with a little mantra or statement like that helps us get it back into that place where we can realign them when sometimes the rest of the world seems to muddle it for us. I know, at least for me. When we repeat those words often enough, when we stay focused on them often enough, they become our reality. This is a spiritual law of the universe. It's not magic. It was set up this way so that when we are faithful and confident and pointed in the right direction, we get to be co-creators with that universal energy, with God. So if you want a more healthy life or you want greater prosperity, then you need to consciously be aware and speak only words of health or of prosperity. If you're talking all day long about how awful it is and how much you don't have, that's where your power is being focused. And it will say, okay, that's what you're wanting to create. Well, here's some more, not enough. You know, some of the most successful people like Napoleon Hill and Henry Ford and many of the others, especially those who were creative and invented things, even sports greats like Gary Players, used this technique of speaking a strong command as often and as long as was necessary until they achieved whatever it is they were seeking to do. In the book, the authors share that Gary Players would look at himself in the mirror each and every morning, sometimes many times a day, and proclaim with absolute belief and faith, "You are the greatest golfer in the world," telling himself. And it didn't matter to him if he just lost a tournament. It didn't matter what his standings were. He knew that he had, even if it wasn't being demonstrated yet, that potential to be the greatest golfer in the world. And he was so driven that he was able to maintain that until it actually showed up. He never, he was telling an interview, I never dwell on the losses. Those are done. There's nothing I can do about them. All I get focused on is this next time. I want to be able to tap into the potential that I know is already there. I've had similar experiences. You know, when I first came here, and it's hard to believe now, in 1998 was my first time visiting this church. And the first class that I took, and I know many of you have taken it over the years, was 4T Prosperity. And in that class, the very first week, you're assigned Your homework is that you are to say, I am prosperous. It's really kind of weird to say it over and over again, at least 200 times a day. I would do 100 in the morning and 100 in the evening. And you're supposed to do it so that you're in front and you're really generating the feeling. It's not just about repeating the words, but you're beginning to generate and increase your belief in that. I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous. At the end of the 30 days, you had proclaimed these words 6,000 times. The course was longer than that, but that was for the first 30 days. You would do this twice a day. And it changed my level of experiencing prosperity. And again, as Matt said earlier, it's not just about money. Prosperity is about having the right relationships, it's about having good health, it's about having meaningful work and a way to share your gifts and a rich spiritual life. All of those things encompasses the word prosperity, at least the way that we hold it here in our community. And just because I began to experience life with greater prosperity doesn't mean that the challenges stopped. I was hopeful. I was hopeful. If you could just tell me how to live, give me all the steps, and there's forgiveness is one of them. There's lots of things involved in this. Then life goes forward wonderfully. And yet, that's not really the way life is for anybody. It wasn't that way for Jesus. It certainly hasn't been that way for most of the great spiritual masters throughout our history. It just meant that you had a different way in which you could navigate through them. You had a stronger and deeper and more solid foundation, and it changed your perspective on how you saw them rather than the way they were or how this might be against you. I recently got an email from Reverend Doug Dewar, who was member services, and he's worked with us, and I've had connection with him, and he's now stepping in to serve as the interim minister at Unity on Greenville in Dallas. And he had checked in with me, and I was explaining what was happening, and this is the way I look at almost every challenge. So just know this. And he said, my words exactly. He said, I'm feeling like there's a sermon or two in there somewhere. And whenever a challenge comes, it's like, oh, good, this is an opportunity. Not usually during the midst. I like to wait till after I've moved through it to necessarily share how that experience was able to be navigated using these spiritual principles that we hold so dear. But, there is a growth in this somewhere, might be a good mantra for those who aren't in this position here. So the question for you today, you know what the church strong command is what is your strong command if you're using this to work through a challenge that's currently showing up in your lives? I know many are in our spirit groups and they're having deep discussions about this. So that's the question. What's your strong command to work through this? And if you're unsure, then you just, for me, I either just stay open to it or you ask the wisdom of your heart, because there is some part of you that knows exactly the right words, the right energy, the right infusion, and what you can grab hold of and feel a sense of faith about as you begin to speak that command into whatever that situation is. And we're going to get an opportunity to start right now. So I'll give you a little practice here. If you're asking that question for yourself, if you're just kind of joining us and this is new information, then just use this time to see how well you can connect to that divine presence within you as we move into a time of meditation. So I would just invite you to just be comfortable where you are and perhaps set aside anything you might be holding on to, both physically or in mind or heart. Just park it for a few minutes. You might want to close your outer eyes so that you can just truly begin to expand your awareness of this inner spiritual life. And as you become aware of the breath as it moves in and out of your body, In the same way that you can go through a big part of the day and not even think about breathing, and yet it's always constantly happening within your being. So too is your spirit, your soul, that part of you that has come to experience this life in this human form is always present with you, regardless of whether you feel connected to it or not. Some call this the wisdom of the heart. And so I invite you to maybe even just imagine that that thinking part of you is slowly sinking down into the center of your chest, gently coming to rest within your heart space, so that mind and heart are of one accord, so that the inner ear and the inner thoughts are attuned and listening to this ancient wisdom that you have carried into this life with you, the wisdom that lives in and through all of life. And if you're seeking guidance on your strong command, just ask it to be revealed. Or if there's something else in your life right now that you would like to have greater understanding or a deepening perspective, an expanded perspective, simply ask in this moment. And know that as you ask, especially as you ask the wisdom of your heart, it is received. Take just a moment in the quiet and see if you can catch hold of this wisdom. And know that if it isn't revealed in this moment, as you pay attention, there will be a statement, something you read or hear, or a conversation, or in a quiet time this evening that will arise, that will guide you, that will support you, and most importantly, that will love you through this and all other aspects of life. And as you begin to bring your attention back to this time and to this space, become once again aware of your breath. Stretch and move your fingers and toes, and whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So as you each identify your own strong command, I invite you to then find ways, as you know what it is, to speak it. You know, if you've got friends, especially in this community that, are in the same mind frame, that have the same understanding, practice saying it. Practice, bringing it with great energy and enthusiasm so that you too can call it forth. And I invite you to join us next week as we take the final step in this journey to overcoming the challenges. It's called Drop the Old Role. And so I ask you in advance to join with me. We'll start to hold this vision that this new updated space, as we move into it, welcomes members past and present, especially families, that visitors feel this sense of newness and energy in our community and want to come and be a part of us, that we drop, and we especially drop those thoughts of any old attachments, of past challenges, of the turbulence of the last couple of years, of this pandemic and the way it's impacted us. And we are truly born anew as a community. So join with me as we hold that vision. And we're going to, one more time, we're going to give thanks for it as we affirm. Well, not just drop the old roll. You got that one down. Let's affirm this together. We give thanks in advance that our sanctuary is complete with every component working perfectly before April 16th. Sometimes you got to tell Spirit exactly what you want. Get it done. Thank you, God. Amen.
No. Mm-hmm. It's get her
done.
get her done. That's just 2 words. Get her. All right, let's do this song. It's about the goodness of God. I love you, Lord. All your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest night. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. And I have lived in the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I'll give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I'll give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it keeps running after me. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I'm gonna sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you. Well, it is our opportunity now to share of our financial good with this community. We are really grateful, and we continue to give thanks in advance that all it is that we have needed and desired is being met in this community. We are grateful for the ways that people have supported us through all of the changes and challenges over those last couple of years. And this being the first Sunday, I also want to bring back into our awareness, we haven't been doing two offerings in quite a while, but the first Sunday we typically would take a second offering or at least invite people to share for our building fund. As you know, we had to pay, or well, we will have to pay the deductible for this to happen, even though the vast majority, thank God, insurance is covering. So if you find yourself with a little extra through income taxes or some other way, we just bring to your awareness that the building fund could certainly use a little replenishing. So as we take these gifts that we give today, or the energy of them if we give through our electronic giving, into our hands and into our hearts and bless them together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you for Father, Mother, God. We did it without even having the words up there, didn't we? I don't know if you know, just wasn't coming up. Sometimes technology. It's okay. We did it. We blessed it. It's all good.
Technology.
I don't know either. All right. Who is doing? Oh, come on, Barbara.
Morning. We'd like to welcome all our visitors. If you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you have chosen to join us. We invite you to visit our website and fill out a Connect card. And if you're local, we invite you to visit us in person. And we're going to get her done. And in Easter, we're going to be in there. So if you're visiting us in person for the first time, and I know I see some new faces out there, I need to go around and introduce myself, I guess. Please complete a visitor card found on the tables by the baskets and put it in the basket, or you can drop it at the welcome desk up front. We welcome all of you. Now, I came over here yesterday for a care team meeting, and there were just people everywhere, just pulling weeds, planting flowers, painting doors. It was just amazing. And I know people that would drive by would say, wow, look at those people working hard, So we really put it out there in the community yesterday. So thank you for that. And you may have noticed that the outside of our building is shaping up after a long time of being dormant. We had wonderful volunteers here yesterday, throughout last week, raking, weeding, planting, painting. New flowers are blooming. Our front doors have a fresh coat of paint, thanks to Bill Grove and his Panther remodeling and repair crew. So for all the love and hard work, to Kenny Green for getting the ball rolling, Peggy Browning, Debbie Holt, Elaine Murphy, Kristen Pope, and all her family was here. Even the little ones. Lisa Thorne, Sue Zimmerman, Harry Lanfit, Bill Parks, and Bill Grove and his crew. Join me as we love you. That should come up there. We love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. Youth that is still in need of volunteers to facilitate and teach the Sunday lessons or help in other ways, such as greeting, song leader, or storyteller. If you feel led to help, please complete the questionnaire on the COU app or see Debbie after church. There's a powerful energy when multiple people embrace the same situation at the same time. You're invited to join your spiritual family as we pause and pray every day at 6 p.m. over the situation in Ukraine. You might find it helpful to set a daily reminder on your phone. Join the Court Group for a Palm Sunday brunch after church at Rio Mambo in Colleyville on Sunday, April 10th. RSVP to Barbara Ludos by April 5th. The The Saturday Morning Spirit Group is collecting non-perishable food items for Grace from now until the end of April. Please make sure that what you're donating hasn't expired. Donations can be left in the bin in Fellowship Hall. You can find a list of needs at gracegrapevine.org. Youth Ed is asking for donations of pre-filled eggs, small wrapped candy, or small things to go inside small eggs, such as stickers and small toys for the Easter egg hunt. Please leave your donations in the labeled basket in the COU Kids Hallway. They are accepting donations through April 10th. We have a variety of online classes available each week. Visit centerofunity.org for more info. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, use the COU or Venmo app, or you can text to give. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
All right, why don't we all go ahead and stand up, and we'll do our peace song together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God surrounds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody.